a little bit about the product, and just in case there's anybody that's new that isn't very familiar. It is TriGLP. It is bioactive peptides. And if you break it down, peptides aren't super complicated. They're small chain amino acids. Amino acids are what makes up protein. So if you look at macronutrients, that's your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. And then as you start to break that down, the protein breaks down into amino acids. That's what makes it up. And then as you break the amino acids down into small chain amino acids, you run into peptides, which are the actual signaling molecules in the body. So what's happening in nutrition is they're getting very, basically just breaking it down and getting very specific. And that's why peptides are so hot, because peptides are literally the signaling molecules that are telling your body what to produce, what to do, how to work. And the biggest by far in the entire peptide market is the GLP peptides. GLP-1 being the first one that was kind of out, and sometimes it gets kind of a bad rap, but it's really just a lot of people don't understand what's going on. First thing that you have to realize with the GLP products, most of them are pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are always going to be synthetic because they have to be exact. So all pharmaceuticals are synthetic, not just the GLP products, not just the peptide products. And that's one of the reasons that they all have massive side effects. So if you really understand and you start to think about it, it makes sense logically. When you put synthetic things in the body, it doesn't necessarily know what's going on. It doesn't know where they came from, how it came, and it's not what it's designed to use. And then if you look at GLP-1 by itself, there's some massive pros. It's helped a lot of people, and there's also some cons. One of the cons is kind of interesting. If you give people exactly what they've always wanted, sometimes you realize you just don't really have enough information, and what you think you want isn't really what you want. So when you give people that will actually allow you to lose weight without changing anything, without changing your diet, without adding exercise, just by how the product functions, that's not necessarily a great thing when you understand how the body works. So if you're looking at just weight loss, you're looking at water, you're looking at fat, and you're looking at lean mass. Now, if you lose weight without changing anything or without taking care of any of the problems that have maybe been the cause of the weight in the first place, then the chances are you're going to lose just as much or more lean mass as you are fat. And let me explain that really quick. So the first thing that the GLP-1 is going to do is that's what's really going to control the appetite. That's what's going to slow down the food noise that works directly with your brain. And so even if people are used to eating a large amount and you go ahead and just because you're used to it, you eat a large amount on a GLP-1, you're typically going to feel bad. It's probably going to make you sick. It slows down the digestion process. And so you eat a whole bunch of food and then you just don't feel good. And it's not something that you're going to continue to do. So you might eat the same foods, but you're going to eat less and less of it. And then that's one of the main reasons that people are losing weight on a GLP-1. Now, again, since it doesn't do anything to really help heal the gut, it doesn't really do anything to help control the inflammation, it doesn't really do anything at all to help with the blood sugar regulation and to help with insulin and insulin sensitivity, then that's basically what you're left with. And so the main things that people hear about, there's all these side effects. Well, there's side effects with all drugs. They're all synthetic. And anytime you put a bunch of synthetics in the body, it's going to create some side effects. So the first win that we have is this is a 100% natural bioactive peptide. So again, they're taking the parts of the salmon fish, the head, the tail, the bones, and using an enzymatic process to break this down all the way down into the building block of these proteins, these small chain amino acids or bioactive peptides. So that's what makes up the product. We have added lemon peel extract and ginger root extract just for the flavoring, and they both, lemon peel and ginger root, have all kinds of health benefits in addition to these bioactive peptides. So that's really all that's in the product. There's three things there, all of them very beneficial, all of them very safe, and they have the studies, the patents, everything behind the product, which also makes it very unique. But the big thing that we have, again, this isn't just GLP-1, you have the GLP-2, and what that's going to do, that's going to help control the inflammation, it's also going to help heal the gut, and it's going to help with better absorption and assimilation of all nutrients and all food. So just that, again, is a massive benefit, and it helps take care of some of the side effects that you run into with just a GLP-1. So still designed to lose weight, but now all of a sudden, you're not having as much of the gut discomfort, you're not having as much as the nausea, you're not having a lot of these other types of things, and you're controlling inflammation and helping heal the gut, better absorption of micronutrients, macronutrients, and that, again, in and of itself is a massive win. And then you add the third one, GIP, and that's where we come in, and this is the real game changer. This is what's protecting the lean mass and helping people have a fat loss product. And so the GIP helps with the insulin sensitivity, helps control the blood sugar, helps control the energy levels throughout the body to maintain better energy throughout the day. And then again, if you understand the big issue with insulin and what's going on in the body in 2026 is that the body has actually become confused and it's not really working for us most of the time. So ideally, the only time insulin is going to be present in the body is when you just ate something. So if you eat something, the body is going to release some insulin, and the insulin also works as a signaling molecule. It's going to signal the fat to hold on to the fat because we need to get our energy and our nutrition from the food that you just ate. But because of how the diets are working and there's so much insulin released and people are getting hungry again and just basically insulin being present all the time, insulin resistance is happening. So what's happening is even when you haven't eaten, the body is locking down the fat, not releasing the fat because there's insulin present. And so then all of a sudden, if you can't control that, it's going to be very difficult to actually lose fat. The body is literally working against you. And so that's really what makes this product so unique. There's several things that it's all natural, that it's all organic, that it's halal certified, kosher certified, GMO, non-GMO, all of the basic things that if you wanted to look at the cleanest product you could possibly get, this is it. But here's another big thing. These GLP peptides are the #1 selling pharmaceutical in the world. There is nothing bigger than this. And when you look at that, how does that work? You have to go to the doctor, you have to get an appointment, and then they have to see if you qualify to use it. And the only people that insurance and stuff are going to cover are pretty much type 2 diabetics and stuff like that, because that's what the product was originally created for. But that is by no means the only people that can benefit from this product. And if you're going to look at the synthetic peptides that are popular out there right now, the closest one to this would probably be more like retatrutide. That's not exactly the same. That's a GLP-1, GLP-2, and then a glucagon, or this is GIP. Benefits to both. But if you look at retatrutide and you study that at all, you're going to see that that's one of the most popular peptides amongst all fitness professionals. So the thing that I want to really get very clear in your mind, this is a game-changing product for everybody. This is not a fat loss or a weight loss product. This is a product that is going to help control cravings of all kinds. They're using this in different scenarios for drug addiction, alcohol addiction, tobacco, all kinds of things like that. And so to help slow down the mind, control the mind, but then also to help reduce inflammation throughout the entire body. Every disease has an inflammatory response. And they're studying this and saying, well, what's happening? Does disease cause inflammation, or does inflammation cause disease? And they're really thinking that the inflammation comes first. So controlling inflammation in the body is crucial. Everybody, not just for people that are overweight or have too much fat on their body. And then you go further with that to help increase assimilation and absorptions of nutrients, vitally important, to help heal the gut, vitally important, and then to control the insulin levels and make the body insulin sensitive, so that you can control your energy better, help with the immune system, and all of these other amazing benefits with the product. So what happens here is the fat loss is really just kind of a side benefit of all of the other benefits of this product that work for every single human being. So I want to be very clear here that people don't lock yourself in a corner and think that this is a fat loss or a weight loss product. This is a fantastic, maybe the best ever created for fat loss. But there's so many other benefits other than that, meaning if you do not have too much fat on the body, you're already at your ideal weight, there's still massive benefits of this product. And so that's something that we're excited about. And instead of having to go to a doctor, try and go through your insurance, and if the insurance doesn't cover it, paying hundreds or even over $1,000 a month and slowing everything down, we've actually taken this word of mouth through network marketing, through Origin, the company, where anybody can order it just from their website, anywhere, not everywhere in the world, but well over 100 countries already, and have it shipped directly to them. And then obviously people like us can benefit from this massive wave in nutrition, which is where nutrition is going, is again peptides, because it is so specific. Now there's some things that I like the specific parts of the peptides, but it's also crazy, especially when you're looking at the majority of these peptides all being synthetic injectables. And then there's like maybe 10 of them sounds like, oh man, that one sounds good, that one sounds good, that one sounds good. Now all of a sudden you're giving yourself 5 or 10 injections either a week or a day. That's not a whole lot of fun. And so just the delivery system of this product. And here's another thing I want to point out. There's significant studies on this product. The raw ingredients are patented. The extract process is patented. But the studies, just so that people realize and understand this, what makes this even more exciting than what you see in the studies, those were done with tablets and with drinks. So those are working with digestion happening in the stomach. Digestion in the stomach is typically somewhere between 15 and 35%. So a lot of the product is not going, it's kind of going to waste here, where the form that we have with these drops and the potency of this extract, you have close to 90% absorption, or even over 90%, and it's straight from the mouth. It doesn't have to get to the gut in order to go with this. So we're having just absolutely incredible results. And instead of having to ship a bunch of stick packs or powder with scoops all over the world, where just so that you realize, with some of the products that we have that are stick packs, there's only maybe about 700 of those that will fit on a pallet. So if we send a pallet somewhere in the world, you're going to get about 700. This is about 12,000. About 12,000 of these bottles fit on a pallet. Logistically and for business, there really is nothing better than what we have right here. But that's really just the first half of the excitement. So literally, you have the opportunity to take what is right now the hottest pharmaceutical in the world. That's just a fact. And that pharmaceutical is very expensive. It's GLP-1. It doesn't have the GLP-2. It doesn't have the GIP. It's an injection. And then in addition to that, it's completely synthetic. We already mentioned all the side effects and problems of synthetics. So now you have something that's 100% natural, same types of studies, same types of benefits, much easier and more beneficial delivery system. And again, that's the business that we have here. But what I'm just as excited about is what we're doing on the marketing side. So if you're going to look at marketing, and if you're going to try and make money as a distributor or a brand partner in a marketing company, the basic job that you have is to just get exposure of the product, and not just only exposure, but exposure that creates a perception to the audience that you're trying to sell to. And what the perception you're trying to do is two things. One of them is that we have the best marketing opportunity and system and things like that that's ever been created for the business side. On the other side, that we have, the hottest product that's out there. And so those are really the two things that need to happen. And what we have done is we've gone out and we've worked on this for a couple of years. So this is just everything coming together in perfect timing. Because if we had found this product a couple of years ago, we wouldn't have had the technology for the marketing. And if we have the technology for the marketing, but we don't have the hottest product that's out there, it's not quite as powerful as it could be. And so what we have with Closer and the AI system is we literally have the ability to create a worldwide brand faster than has ever been done in the history of the world. And I don't think people really understand how that happens. If you've been following social media at all, people like Alex Ramosi, who just broke the world record in book sales, nobody knew who he was 3 years ago. He's done his entire strategy on social media. So you literally have a marketing professional that knows everything about the product, everything about the ins and outs, everything about and not only that, here's another thing that you really have to understand. This isn't an autoresponder. The AI literally grabs that person that liked or commented on your post and it scrubs their social media. It makes a goal to go and know who this person is. And then it creates the response after it's done that. And every single response is unique to that one person. And then we're giving this for free, and this has never been done in the history of network marketing. And I don't even think there's a company that's even close to putting out what we're doing. And so the big picture that you need to understand is you got to get on board. I don't care what your thoughts are on social media. You don't have social media, then you're not going to compete. Or you're going to work 100 times harder than is necessary. And so the reason we wanted to give Instagram for everybody for free is to give everybody a chance to see how this works and how it can go. But it only works if you take the 2 or 3 minutes to actually sync up your profile or set up a new profile. If you set up a new profile and you don't have any engagement on that profile, it's no problem, because you can spend as little as $3 to $5 on a post and you're going to start getting engagement. There has never been something in the history of the marketing world that has more potential and is easier than this. If you can't just sync up an Instagram account and boost some posts, then I don't know how you would be successful in any business ever in the world. So this is giving people that have never had success the chance to market as good or better than 95 to 99% of the marketing world. And that is powerful. And so what we have here isn't just the hottest product in the world. It's also the strongest marketing opportunity that's ever been created. Now, a couple of things that we're working through. We've had a few issues getting the domains, because they're new domains. It's not a new company, but it is new domains. So we have a strategic partnership with a 9-year-old company. That's what's helped us get this around the world so fast. But brand new domains, in order for all the emails to get delivered without getting blocked, everything has to get approved, and that takes a little bit of time. We've been having some issues on getting the domains approved by all the email providers so that they don't get blocked. And that looks like, fingers crossed, by the end of today, that should all be solved. So all emails for purchases, welcome emails, all of those things should be going out as soon as tomorrow with no problems. We should have good inventory worldwide within the next 2.5 weeks. Our second shipment to the EU, which is the only place that we've sold out a product right now, is set to arrive on the 12th. So it should be in the shipping warehouses just in 4 days from now. And then we have another much larger order that should be going out the week of the 12th. And that normally takes about a week to 10 days in order to have delivery. So if we're looking at somewhere around the 22nd to 24th is when we'll have really good inventory in the EU. All other markets that we're in right now has pretty good inventory. Again, we're selling hundreds of bottles every single day, thousands of bottles every single week. And we're just getting started. As we continue to push on and grow more and more, you're going to see more things out. Next things that you're going to see, hopefully by the end of next week, you're going to have some marketing videos, short videos, 1 to 3 minutes on the product and 1 to 3 minutes on the opportunity. The opportunity videos are going to focus very heavily on the aspect of being able to use AI and use Closer that takes care of so many of the issues that people have in network marketing that keeps them from getting great exposure and creating that perception that gets people to buy. And when you really understand that will create, in my opinion, as big of a recruiting frenzy as has ever happened. I think that video will pull as good as any video that's ever been created in network marketing. There is nothing in the world hotter right now than AI. And then when people understand there's not a product in the world that's hotter than the GLP peptides. There's nothing that's hotter. Nothing. It is the king of all nutrition at the moment. And the king of everything in the world is AI. We marry those two things together with a short video that we can send to everybody in the world. And it's a massive win. People getting signups from the short explanation with the description on Instagram or LinkedIn and stuff like that. It's already happening. And we literally, out of all of the people, this is the only scary thing. The distributors have got to wake up. Out of all of the people right now on Origin, less than 1% have taken the 5 minutes and hooked up to their Instagram account. That's a little bit pathetic. And again, I don't know what people's goals are. I don't know if people have a goal of having a for-profit business or if you're just running a not-for-profit hobby. That's really up for you to determine. But here's what I will tell people. The team that has the most people using the AI system will be the biggest money earners in the company, period. My opinion, this is my opinion, there will be nobody that will be even close in earnings to the people that have the most people connected to the AI. Because marketing is just straight up exposure. If I'm getting 100 times more exposure than you're getting, there's a very good chance my check is going to be 100 times larger than yours. That's assuming that the exposure is good, it's well written and things like that. AI is much better than, again, 95% of all distributors in the world. So you're getting out quality content and you're getting it out in front of a lot of people. And then the key is just going to be, if you do not have engagement because you haven't been following social media at all, then you just are going to have to understand, in order for me to get some engagement, I'm going to need to boost some posts and spend, $3 to $5 or $10 in order to start getting the ball rolling. But you also have to understand that no one person needs to be fantastic. Nobody on this line needs to sponsor hundreds of people. If you can sponsor one person a month, and we just started in January of this year, by 2031, we would have the entire world in this company, 8 billion people. And that's if 0 people sponsored more than one a month. What's more powerful than sponsoring one person every month? Listen to this. What is much more powerful than sponsoring one person every month is sponsoring 2 people your first month. And even if you never sponsored a person again. If you sponsor 2 people your first month and you duplicated that same process, in 32 months, we have the entire world. If you sponsored one person a month and you duplicated that process, it's going to take more than 40 months. It's going to take 8 or 9 months longer if you sponsored one person a month than if you sponsored only 2 people your first month. But what if you sponsor 2 people a month, or 3 people a month, or 4 people a month? So what I have seen is not to knock any distributor. I'm just saying, as not as an individual. I'm saying network marketing distributors as a whole. If you look at companies that have been around for 100 years, have 10 million distributors. If you just look at a duplication aspect, that is absolutely pathetic. One person sponsored per month for 30 months is 10 million people. For 36 months is 640 million people. If any network marketing company in the world could get any type of duplication at all, they'd have hundreds of millions of distributors in a couple of years. I've heard people say to me sometimes, man, I really want this to be my last build. I want this to be the last company that I ever do. And then I say to them, well, is it my choice or is that your choice? If it's my choice, fantastic. This will be the last company you ever do and you'll make unlimited income. That's what I would choose if it was my choice. But whose choice is that? People act like it's not their choice. People act like it's somebody else's choice if they stay in a company or if they're successful. That's your choice. If it's my choice, then I choose that you're going to be successful. And if I ask people, if you join this company, do you want to come in and make a lot of money and have a lot of fun and change a lot of lives? Or do you want to come in and lose some money and waste some time and just mess around a little bit? Most people are going to say, well, I want to come in and make a lot of money and change some lives and have some fun. I said, okay, then let's do that. Because guess what? It's your choice. It's not anybody else's choice. People have to understand that everything in life is your choice and your decision. Circumstances do not exist. People can make excuses of a circumstance, but then you can find somebody else with worse circumstances that have overcome it.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind and what you decide, because you are the decider.
That's right.
And so we've put something together that is special, like Monica was saying. It is new. There's some frustrations when it's new.
Mhm.
And there's frustrations for me. When I look at the most basic things, like sending out an email and people aren't getting the welcome emails, that's very frustrating, because I've helped launch companies for the last 20 years, and sending out emails is not rocket science. But there are some things. I mean, you have to get the new domains, they have to get approved, and for some reason we've had trouble getting some of them approved. But those things are being worked through and being taken care of. We do one of the very exciting things that I want to clear up in a lot of people's mind. This product is in abundance, meaning that this is something that we can get massive amounts to service the entire world and do billions of dollars a year in sales. So it's not like we're not worried about running out of product. We have enough product right now that we could do millions. We could do 10 million in sales next month and not have any issues on this product alone. The extracting companies that we're working with do a fantastic job. They're fast. The raw ingredient provider has a lot of the raw ingredient, and they have a lot more that they can make pretty much at any time. And so we're super excited about that, and that's some things that people have to wonder about and things like that. Launching so many countries all at once. Again, this has come from idea to where we are right now. Before we had a name, before we had the concept, before we had websites, before we had anything, we're literally talking about less than 12 weeks ago. And now we've delivered product all over the world. And it literally, Demetrius can say, and some other people that have owned companies and know, first orders are almost like 12 weeks is about the minimum that it's going to take. And we've already got tens of thousands of bottles into people's hands in the marketplace in less than 12 weeks. And linked up AI and created the websites and the marketing and the AI agents. And you really need to pay attention to these things. because any question that can ever be asked, one of the massive benefits of Origin, you don't have to ask anybody. You ask your AI agent in the back office. Any question that any distributor ever asks you, you don't need to call your upline. You don't need to call Sean. You don't need to call me. You don't need to message me. You don't need to message anybody. All you do is you just go ask the agent, because guess what? It knows much more about the product than I do. It knows much more about the product than Sean does. It knows much more about the product than Kylene does. It knows as much about the product as anybody in the entire world. And you can simply ask it any question that anybody asks you, and it's going to spit out an answer, and that answer is correct. You don't have to go and get that answer verified or anything like that, because everything that has learned has come straight from the study, straight from the raw ingredient providers, straight from the extractors, and all of the information. And the same thing with the compensation plan, and even the same thing with the training system. You can ask any question and it just pops it up, so that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to hesitate. If somebody asks you a question, you can just say, hey, let me get you that answer. And then you can go and you can put their exact question in the AI, and then you copy and paste and you send them the answer in a matter of minutes. You didn't have to contact your upline. You didn't have to contact anybody. You didn't have to wait for anybody. You didn't have to have any frustration. And these are things that are not prevalent in the network marketing industry. We have created a system with the product and the marketing and everything that is designed to make this as easy as possible on you. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to understand anything. Literally, you don't even have to know one thing about this product, and you can answer any question that any customer, any distributor, any doctor, anybody on the planet will ever ask you.